Hi, it's Gina with the first of your Kingdom Sewing Minute Clinics. These short demonstrations will help you learn how to use your machine better while improving your sewing skills. Today, I'm going to be using the Janome Skyline S7 and we're going to be focusing on stitching an accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance. So you'll see here, I've got a 1/4 inch foot with the guide on the side. This is a blade that you'll butt your fabric up against to keep it in the correct position while you sew. This machine, you'll notice, has a very wide feed system. This is a 9mm stitch width on this machine, and so our foot is also very wide. This allows us to use the whole feed system so that we get easier steering with our fabric. So I'm going to put that foot on. We'll move our thread to the back. I'll get a hold of my fabric here. And you want to be sure that you're lining up your fabric right up against the guide. And you want the needle to be going down into the fabric for your first stitch. If your fabric isn't quite up to the needle and your first stitch is into air, you'll find that you can get some tangling at the beginning of your seam. So we always want to have our fabric butted right up against the guide here. And I want you to pay special attention to watching this portion of the foot. We don't need to pay attention to what the needle is doing because it's going to be doing what it needs to do. You want to be focusing on where your fabric is feeding. So I'm going to select my 1/4 inch piecing stitch, which you'll notice move the needle over slightly. Again, because this is a wide feed system, we need to keep our needle over to the right a little bit. If I were to put it in the center, our stitch would be wider than 1/4 inch. So let's go ahead and give it a try. And again, we're going to be focusing right here, just making sure that our fabric is staying right up against the guide. No need to sew at a fast pace. However, you might find that if you're sewing very slowly, it's a little bit more likely that you will be overcompensating if you have to make some corrections with your steering. So better to sew a little bit faster, and there you can see the stitch. So use your 1/4 inch piecing foot with the guide to get an accurate 1/4 inch seam. This has been your Kingdom Sewing Minute Clinic.